Power session, take three. Power session, take three. See, the problem, first of all, welcome to the power session. Fingers crossed that this actually works and stays connected. Just the weirdest things going on today. First, the microphone wasn't working, then the connection wasn't working. And anyway, so hopefully this stays solid because we're really excited to be with you today. Normally it's just me on here, but I've brought out the entire artillery of the Habit Finder. We brought our business coach on. Indeed. The very artful big guns, in fact. Yeah. We got our business coach, Jason Sisneros, here with us, which is phenomenal, incredible human being. We've gone through so many guruships and consultants and different things, and it just made finding someone that gets these kinds of results and gets to what's really going on under the surface of a business so much more refreshing. We've got my business partner, my father, the Og father, the Wizard of Og himself, Dave Blanchard. I have to remember all of our good jokes from the first two takes.
Yeah, exactly. Because they have been good.
We had a lot of great conversation. We solved world hunger.
Yep.
You know, we figured out all these different things, how to work against gravity, but you know, it was all lost because our connection was lost. But
life everlasting.
Right? Yeah, seriously, that one was cool.
Yeah, that one was super cool.
And we'll share next time. Yeah. But right now, we've really been reflecting on, as many people have, 2019 through the eyes of our clients, the different industries that they work in, and kind of the space we're in, getting ready to move into 2020, which is a really cool year on a lot of levels. One, because it's a new year. That's always an exciting time. We're conditioned for the mystical power of January and all that stuff, but also for the actual numbers, the 2020, the vision, the clear vision that we want to see for the new year. And so we wanted to come together. On top of that, early on in 2020, Jason is putting on an event called Unstoppable, getting an opportunity to participate in that. And so I would like him to share a little bit about that, and as we're here today as well, because that started a long time ago. That wasn't just like, hey, I want my own event. It's going to be super cool. And it's going to be awesome. You've been in this industry with the biggest names out there for a long time, and finally just had it. Like, there's no reason to keep trying to improve these events that aren't built on actually creating shift and change.
Right.
They're built on getting money and change, and then giving enough shift to try and justify it. So excited to talk about that. We'll also be keeping an eye on the chat box, which I know I don't usually do, as I'm want to stay focused on the information that I have to share with you on these power sessions. Occasionally we'll do kind of coaching on demand for those of you who have been attending these for a while. But with that, let's just open up to just a little bit of where you guys have been at and what you hope to convey today. Jason, if you don't mind, a little introduction in terms of your background.
Sure.
And then we'll just keep going around the table. We'll have a lot of fun.
Cool. Well, hello, everybody. I feel like I'm here with my family. That's what I posted when I shared it. I feel like I'm with my family. These guys have become like a brother and a father. I say second father, but I really didn't have a good first father, so you can be the first father if you want. I'll be adopted. I'm just not as big or good looking as your other kids, So, I could be one more. I'm more your height. People are more believable, actually, that I'm your kid.
You have a way easier time finding hats, though.
True, yeah. Way easier. I was going to bring you one, but there's none that would fit you. So
sombreros are a good go.
Sombreros are a good deal, or cars. Like, just truck.
Just proportionally, it works out
for you. Yeah,
yep, got it.
But I'm glad to be here today. Again, I feel like I'm with family, and also working with the Og Mandino group and with the Blanchards. They have integrity. I mean, this is one of the things that drew me to them. With our consulting company, we have a long list of people that want to work with us, but we really focus in on helping good people make more money, get more time so they can do more good. And so we're choosy in who we work with, right? And getting a chance to see the coaching, and it was going through the assessment live with you and getting to see you on stage and to see not only how you operated on stage but behind stage, and then getting to see you on stage, which is another mind-blowing deal. There's so much talent in these guys that when they were looking around and I looked at their business and they were looking for some help with their company, I was like, I'd love to help you guys, because their message. A lot of companies, and I've said this before about you guys, I say it almost every time I talk about you, is there's a lot of companies that are really great at marketing and they're coaching and that kind of stuff, and they do giant numbers, but then on the back end they're not really helping anybody. They're not really helping people measurably advance. And you guys know me, I'm a huge, if you can't measure it, it's BS, right? And so with you guys, it's the exact opposite. They give such great value and help people advance, like just demonstrable outcomes, measurable outcomes in people's lives and their relationships and their money and their physical health and all of the aspects to what you're when you're looking and seeking out a great coach. They have it, and then the marketing comes not even second, like probably like 19th. You know, if I'm being honest, it's like 19th for these guys. So it was really great to come in, work with some of their processes, and to be able to help them, because it's a worthy organization, a worthy company, and two amazing gentlemen who are only overshadowed by Ramona in the people that I love in this family. So so that's it. And then as far as what we do on the Anton J side, my company, it's the consulting company is called Anton J Global, and what we do, it's the same exact thing that happened with Unstoppable. I complained as I was coming up. I paid consultants. I paid, I went to this event. I went to all paid consultants, and every single time I got to the end of paying a consultant, they're like, "Well, here's what's wrong with your business, and thanks for the 100,000. Thanks for the 200,000. Bye bye." And then I was like, I knew those things were wrong. What do I do to fix it? You'll figure it out. Fire this person. Blah blah blah. But very little return on my investment when it came to that kind of thing. And I just got tired of complaining about it. So we opened a consulting company, which is now one of the premier consulting companies in the world. Have a great team, world-class team, doing amazing things to help people. And the same thing can't happen with complaining about. You've seen some of the events that I've gotten involved with. I'm like, I'll help them fix their thing, and then we'll have an event that's integrity based, and and then you get there and you get half of the event, and that half of the event goes really great because it's the people that are in integrity. It's not a pitch fest. It's when you two step on stage, you're adding real value to the audience. You don't need to make a sale. This is the thing. When you're on stage and you're delivering real value, there is no pitch that has to be. First thing when I heard you on stage, I'm like, I got to meet him, right? Next time I'm meeting him, I'm like, I got to talk to him. I've got to learn what they know. And that wasn't because you were like, hey, Jason, it's $172,000 to work with me, and there's only 7 seats left, and you only have 12.2 seconds to buy it, right? All of that BS that we've gotten taught. But so that's where Unstoppable came from. I was like, I want to build a stage that has integrity-based people that are going to be speaking from it, that are adding real value, that aren't pitching, and that we're looking at adding value and dollars to the wallet of the people that are in the audience, right? Giving them real information about improving their health, improving their businesses and their financial life, their relationships, those kind of, giving them real value so that their lives improve. And every business, you guys know the businesses that I owned before I sold them. My philosophy towards business is, if you add massive value to your clients and your teammates, you're never gonna have to worry about money, right? You're never gonna have to worry about it. And so that's why we decided with Unstoppable. I'm tired of helping people that are out of integrity. I'm tired of building things that are then they take that success and they use it to rip people off and stuff. I've just got tired of it. So, I guess that was a little longer than you expected, but that's my story, and that's why I'm here.
What we love about having Jason around is he doesn't have to be here. Like obviously not disclosing anything, but you sold a giant portfolio of companies you built yourself that were all profitable, no partners, no investors, for an amount that you could go be pretty ridiculously irresponsible for the rest of your life and still have quite a chunk of change left over. Sure. Jason doesn't have to be here. So one of the things, because we've always wanted to help and serve multidimensionally. If we step in working with a client and their relationship's in trouble, it doesn't need to become an either or, but we're not just going to talk about their business and ignore the deeper principles in their relationship. My dad taught me that there are no, all professional problems are personal problems in disguise. And so we want to work and help multidimensionally. And one thing that we love about Jason is he helps multidimensionally. You don't have to be here, but you also don't just help businesses grow. In fact, Jason won't help a business grow, which is significant. I mean, you were just giving me some figures of a company you guys are working with this year that just hit a ridiculous multiple last month versus what they usually even make in the year, which is crazy and awesome. But also, like, the other ways you help people, like, you really get in the trenches with sex trafficking and really saving children's lives and drug addiction and battered women. You led us to A New Dawn, which has become our primary. There's the hat right there.
Cat.
Shout out to Cat.
Cat, what's up?
Which has been one of our primary focuses as a company this year as well, in terms of when we have some extra to give, we want it to go to causes like that. So thank you for reminding us that, like, that works. You can really help and still make a lot of profit. So appreciate
I think
that.
it's actually almost a prerequisite. You know, I mean, when I got into philanthropy almost 10 years ago, when I really started, you know, I started by donating. I thought, you know, the best thing for me to do is to write checks. And then I got involved and I'm writing checks and I'm thinking to myself, I could give away every penny I make for the rest of my life and I'm not going to make a dent in this problem. So, you know, I started working on the backside with these different charities to help them, you know, put their business models together, right, in a charity. And then I got somewhere along 3 years in, and then I started doing the undercover rescues, you know, for these little girls. And then, I mean, it was fire on top of fire on top of fire, because that's what we're here for. Like, we're not here to serve ourselves. We're here to serve other people. And that's where I feel, you know, I get goosebumps when I think about it, when people are like, oh, I need my house, I need my bills paid for, I need this, I need that. And all we're doing is we're shrinking all of that potential down into a me ball, right? Which is not, it doesn't light anything on fire, because all you're worrying about is yourself and your focus and what happens, what, you know, you've said this multiple times, is what you focus on, you get more of, right? And so you're focusing on yourself and it just gets smaller and smaller. And then you end up having some sort of a physical breakdown or a mental breakdown, or you have something because you're focused inwardly. You know, I have felt nothing but pure joy ever since that shift in my life went from making money for me and paying my bills and getting me a car and getting me a house to there's 2 million little girls and little boys that have been abducted and are being used for horrifying purposes every night. And 2 million spread out around the world is about, you know, it's going to take us about 150 million bucks to be able to solve, you know, to be able to reduce that thing to something that's handleable, because it's the fastest growing crime on the planet right now. But and then I got to thinking, you know, if I gave every penny I have, I'm halfway there, right? So then I go, okay, well, if we can help you guys make more money, I'm thinking God gave me this skill set for me to be able to go in and to improve people's lives through their businesses. And if I can help them make $1 million more, they're not going to have a problem pitching in 20 grand or 50 grand or whatever it is when we need a rescue, right? And then I was like, oh, that's great. Now I can go help other businesses instead of just mine.
Yep. And
it just infinitely grew because I stopped thinking about myself, and my pain went away, and my depression and my any of that went away, because now it's you know, everybody's like, oh, well, I worry, what keeps you up at night? I don't care what gets people. I don't care. Because if something's keeping you up at night, that means that you're focused on yourself. What I care about is what bounces you out of bed in the morning, right? What fires you up? I wake up and I think to myself, if I put in everything I've got today, there's going to be a little girl, a little boy that we're going to rescue, that there's going to be somebody that doesn't starve through Feed a Billion. There's going to be a woman who got her teeth knocked out and can't smile, and her kids are you know, where they are. We both, you know, we all know Chainsaw's story, right? You put the teeth back in and she can smile, and now she can get a job. We put the guy away from jail. Like, you know what I mean? These are the things that matter. And yet we sit back and we go, well, Jason, that would be nice. Someday I'd like to be able to do that. Do it now.
In some way.
Some way.
Some way, start experiencing your dreams in little ways. Start experiencing giving and service, and then build a nice solid foundation of the action and the steps and everything. I want to pull you in here, Dad, with a couple of questions. But I love what you're talking about. In our coach mastermind we do every Tuesday with our Habit Finder coaches, one of our coaches, Jessica Faltot, said something awesome today, paraphrasing. She said, I realized that it didn't matter what got me excited about shooting to the moon. It mattered what got me off the floor. And she just celebrated 40 years of sobriety this last year.
Wow.
And so just a really cool perspective on that. But Dad, as we're having this conversation, if there's something that I've watched you just specialize in, it's teaching your clients how to create more and then how to realize what enough is. Because we want to be able to hit the gas, but we want to know like where the regulator is for peace of mind and fulfillment, not just more. As you've been reflecting on this year and your life, your clients' lives, what are some things that are coming up for you in terms of this conversation? What's going to really make a difference this next year?
Well, I was sitting here thinking, very first thing I need to do is sit on 2 new phone books. But a phone book dated me. Nobody has a phone book anymore.
Don't say Rolodex either.
Yeah,
You know? I almost fired my millennial because she was like, "What's a Rolodex?"
Well, I think my favorite moment in working with a client is someone who has dreams, because we want to have dreams, right? You have children, you want to make sure they get educated well, they have a nice place to live, lots of opportunity. But a year ago Christmas, a client was on the phone, said, I just had to call and tell you this, Dave. Actually, it was a Zoom call. And she says, I'm not sharing this with you for myself. You know, this wasn't about self-aggrandizement. She was just so touched by it. She had to share it with a friend. I felt so honored she'd share it. She said she was sitting at a community play at Christmas time where children were in the play. And all of the students were participating. And then at the intermission, they had a conversation, discovered that this particular community theater invites all the children in the community to play. Some are painting sets, some are directing the stage. Doesn't matter if they're in a wheelchair, doesn't matter if they're autistic, it doesn't matter. They're all invited to participate. And she was so moved by that. She turned to her husband, and they'd had a banner year. There was a banner year, so exciting for them to have that banner year. And they set aside 10% of their income, which happened to be $75,000 for giving.
Nice.
And they'd already given away $65,000. She turns to him and says, how much we got left? And he said, $10,000. And he knew exactly what she meant. They were on board right away. So the next day they call this director of the community playhouse and said, we just had this experience. They shared what happened the night before, and we're going to be sending you a check for $10,000. She's having trouble telling me the story. And then I realized why. She said the lady burst into tears and could hardly speak. And the only thing she could say was, you have no idea. You have no idea. $10,000 could be their budget for most of the year, right? To be able to create this kind of an opportunity for the children in the community to come together and have that kind of a self-esteem experience where they all get to participate. Those moments are priceless. And I know you've had tons of those. You've been out on one of those rescues before. And part of the reason why we love Jason for a lot of reasons. He looks like a tough guy. He is a tough guy. But his heart is like huge, and he's all about making sure things are done that are really credible, important, and valuable. That's his whole mission. We've experienced that as he consulted with us as a company last year in helping us get over a couple of our preconceived ideas, right? So that was so helpful for us. But what a gift. I'm not going to share any personal experiences, but what you'll want to do in 2020 is to decide initially to live on 90% of your income. Live on 90, set aside 10%, and give it to a worthy cause, preferably somewhere where the vast majority, if not all of it's actually going to go to help somebody, right? It's not going to overhead, like 90% goes to overhead, 10% goes to the cause. You want to give it to some place where it's really going to make an impact, and you're going to be involved in the giving, not just write a check and walk away. It's the participation in the organization. It's participating in the Christmas, it's delivering the presents to the family. It's actually being involved in whatever it is that you're doing so that you get a personal touch of how this moves somebody's life. And when we got involved with A New Dawn and we got to hear those stories,
and you met the people and you hugged them, and
my wife came.
Yeah.
And some of them been some really tough times, and some of their language is really rough. And I was concerned, because Ramona just doesn't listen to that kind of stuff. And I asked her about it later, and she didn't even remember the words.
Right.
She felt what happened with these women who had been abused and battered and were finally in a safe place to be able to create something new and different in their lives. To be able to feel that gave her an additional commitment for our commitment to that kind of an event. There are many opportunities to give, but if you don't set aside the 10%, it's like, well, I don't have enough to give. What we absolutely know is there will never be enough to give. If we can't give now, there'll never be enough. So set aside the 10%. And if you do it correctly, you can tax deduct it. So, you'll get that benefit if you want to do it that way. Bottom line is to be able to give that, feel it yourself, so that you can then, with the 90%, identify what is enough. Now, I have a neighbor who takes like 42 people on a 2-week first-class trip every year. Now, I've estimated it's got to be like $250 million to do this. Last year was 2 years to China. Incredible human being, very, very successful business person. And his family is unbelievable, right down to the last little grandchild. These are amazing human beings, very accomplished artists, very accomplished musicians, very accomplished students. Anyway, wonderful human beings because they've been exposed to this kind of thing. So that's part of his enough. Yeah. Now, somebody else may say, well, I'd rather take that $250,000, do something different. Fine, there's no judgment. It's just decide what the enough is so that when you get there and you now have more money than that 90% covers that, and now the 90% is more than you need for your enough, you can start putting more over into the other side. And we've watched Jason. We know that there is a significant part. You downsized your house, your cars, your life. I don't need a Lamborghini. Now, somebody may want a Lamborghini. They get to have that experience of it being in the shop 10 out of every 12 days. They get to have that moment, right?
Wait till they
and then they say, I just want something that actually, I start, it runs, it drives, it's safe, because I want to be able to give more and more and more to change lives, because truly that's where the joy is. I learned early on, when the crash happened for me in 1989, I was my stuff. I was my house. I was my cars. I was my watch. I won't share any of those crazy stories this afternoon. But when you are your stuff, there's never enough stuff, because the stuff will never fill the hole in your soul. It never will fill it. And if you're pursuing it, looking for that, you are in for a really sad discovery. Because when you finally go, I want for nothing, but I still feel empty. Well, before you get there, if you can learn from somebody who went down that road once, and you went down that road once, everybody's gone down that road once, stop right now where you are, 10% set aside, get your enough defined so that when you get there, you know the rest of it can go over to the other side, 10, 11, 12, 15, 20, 25. And the greatest salesman, Hafid, gave 50% of his profit to the poor of the city every year.
And still had more than he could ever spend.
Oh, and still had an opulent lifestyle. I've got a neighbor who lives in a 50,000 square foot house. Indoor pool, outdoor pool, vineyard, greenhouse as big as my house. 100 acres, well, everything. He's got it all. He bought the cul-de-sac into that area and put a big gate up on it, and people say, oh, what a snob. If they knew, Jason,
all the things
he is one of the most gracious, giving people. Boots for the homeless at Pioneer Park at wintertime. He makes sure they all got warm boots. And from that on, you want to live in this space, because that's where the joy comes. That is what will fill your soul.
Love that.
So want to shift gears just a little bit, because one of the challenges we run in a conversation like this is a lot of feel-good stuff. And I don't mean that like cheapening. I mean, like, this is really soul-moving stuff, and we run the risk of overdosing on altruism. We run the risk of just, oh yeah, I want to be able to do that. I'd love to be able to do that. It would be so amazing to do that. Okay, let's get down to some brass tacks. We'll start with you, Dad, and then we'll go to Jason. it's January 1st. Let's even give people a buffer, okay? You're hungover, you're tired, whatever it is. It's January 2nd, okay? It's January 2nd. What are we going to run into in terms of some core thought processes? What are we going to run into in terms of some of the ways we're naturally wired that we're going to want to be very aware of what it's actually going to take to not just manifest this? Because we talked about millionaire magic doctrine a lot, and it just doesn't work. But it seems to be coming back around again because of economic flourishing, that the millionaire magic doctrine is now getting a hold again of, if you can just dream about it with enough intention, it'll show up as if it actually worked that way. Mm-hmm. So what are people going to run into from your perspective, from the core habits of thinking, where we come from? And then I'll get to you with some of the tactical in terms of their business and stuff. Where do you think people want to be aware of or focused on come January 2nd?
Single greatest risk. We know that in our mind we can create a Learjet in a nanosecond, right? But if you had the $20 million, it'd still take a year for it to come off the assembly line. That's the truth. But in our mind, we can create and see and create these expectations, concrete conditions for our happiness. So here we are, January 1st. We're all fired up, and this year is going to be better in 2020. What an incredible year. We're going to have clear sight. We're going to bring things into vision. You know, all the playoff.
It's so
2020.
cute.
And here we are. So we are so fired up. Interesting, right? That's the resolutions we're making, the commitments we're making, but we don't have the habits of thinking to sustain that over a period of time. So the next day, we actually have to, and you said, get out of bed, to pop out of bed. We pop out of bed the first day because we're all set, and we go buy a gym membership, for an example. You know, and we're down the gym. The place
he went there. He went there. Yeah, I don't even go to the gym the first 2 weeks.
You're not going to be there. It's so crowded for the first 2 weeks, and then it starts to get less and less and less and less. And by the end of January, you're back to nobody's in the gym, and you got all to yourself because we don't have the resolve to meet the resolution. If there's something we want to do differently this year, let's bring it into proper vision. Let's create a vision for what's possible, a target that we can hit, and let's start working on ourselves, because as we stretch, the very first thing we're going to notice are the unhealthy habits of thinking that are showing up that make us uncomfortable. Most of us don't like that discomfort. We'd like it to be easier and less stressful. I just want to visualize it with enough attention. There's going to be a fantasy fairy that's going to magically manifest my wishes if I just do it this way, right? No, it's not going to work that way. You're going to do the work. And the first work you'll do is facing the discomfort. That's the hardest thing you'll do in this coming year. If you actually want to create a different result, you'll face the discomfort and you'll do it anyway. You'll take actions in spite of the discomfort, in spite of the fear, and you will keep doing it, and they'll start accomplishing and stretching and accomplishing and stretching and accomplishing. Because the thing we would want for everybody more than anything else is to give yourself the gift of equanimity, a peace of mind. And peace of mind only comes from taking your natural gifting and talents, becoming aware of the unhealthy habits of thinking that are in the way, begin shedding those, replacing them with good habits, accomplishing. Now, it's not just accomplishment. It's actually taking your gifting and doing the most you can with it in blessing the lives of others, and then going home at night and going, wow, this was a great day. There's joy from having served at that level, free of fear of doubt, to be able to walk in, be genuine, walk in your natural genius. That's where the joy comes. That's the joy that will fill your soul. Elation, excitement, temporarily, but not lasting. The real joy is when you have taken on your fear and doubt, acted in spite, accomplished, become a better person, more whole, more complete, more real, more genuine, more authentic, more capable and available to serve another person more and more effectively. It's in that space that we feel joy, the kind of joy, I'm going to repeat it, that will fill the hole in our soul. That's what we wish for everybody on January 1st. Let's not just jump in with all the excitement and 2 weeks later be in a depression. Let's look at this year as an opportunity to grow, stretch, grow, stretch, grow, stretch, grow, stretch, grow, stretch. And at the end of the year, look back and say, 2020, I finally brought this into focus. I actually did. And my life has changed forever as a result. That's what I think.
Thank you. Just awesome. And
awesome. What was
really,
the fairy's name? What did you say? The what kind of fairy was it?
Fantasy fairy.
Fantasy. I think I dated her.
That's where I would add, who haven't you dated? But anyway, we'll move on.
Yes, moving on.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, of course.
And that is, we've all tried that. You know, we all want that fantasy fairy to manifest our wishes if we'll just visualize it with enough intention, right, to attract it all. Well, when we approach life that way, we end up broken, and angry. I mean, how many people have left as an exit interview from one of those kinds of places we've talked about?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I finally found the answer. I just knew it was possible to manifest this. And 6 months later, they're $20,000 in debt from the coaching they put on their credit card, and nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed.
They are broken, and angry. Mm-hmm. It does not work. Vivid visualization, let's get really clear, is about creating inspired ideas, intuitive impressions, and creative solutions about how you can serve more effectively. They light up parts of your brain that are normally dormant. They ignite our passion and drive our action. And then we actually, in action, create the result, and we start all over again. Wash, rinse, repeat. Inspired idea, action, creation. Inspired idea, action, creation. This is how creation occurs if we're willing to embrace the discomfort and stretch and grow, and stretch and grow. May that be our, wow, I'm on a soapbox, aren't I?
Totally welcome to be here.
You guys are inspired, yes.
Mini soapbox. But no, such good stuff, because that's what we want to get into. We want to get into the granular, into the millimeters. We actually want to, and this is a concept that we've been working through this year. Micromanagement got a really bad name in corporate America. It was really misapplied, and so we stay away from it. Just like in connection, we stay away from interrogation, which is actually a really beautiful word. Inter, which means in between, and rogare, which are questions. We want to see in between the questions. But micromanagement is how it's done. We want to learn to micromanage ourselves, micromanage others, but as an entrepreneur, that needs to be done from a place of sincere will and determination and authentic purpose. Where it went wrong in corporate America is it was done from compliance, and that's where micromanagement doesn't work. But really getting into the details of why we're doing things, and being willing to build enough detail between the concept and the experience. I guarantee you, this is not the first time you've heard that you've got to get out of your comfort zone. You've got to get uncomfortable. But how many times are we going to continue to go back to that well and not swim, not actually dive in and experience it enough times, often enough, consistently enough, that something actually starts to change in what we believe about ourselves and what we believe about what we deserve, what we believe about what this world should have? I think that's such a powerful distinction that we want to make sure that we have. And for those of you listening to this, please be sharing this out. This is fire. I mean, it's fun for me, as I hope it is for you guys. Usually I'm running this solo. So fun to hear your perspectives, and we're not done yet, but we're not going to be able to go forever. So please share this out. And I wanted to throw something out there just randomly before I turn things over to you, Jason, to kind of bring us home with starting 2020 off on the right foot, as well as driving home who should be at Unstoppable, why they should be there.
Yep.
For those of you who participating in this, we like to have fun. We like to give back. Yeah. And we didn't plan this. I'm going to throw this out there, and if you give me the look, then we'll stomp it. But
the look,
it's pressure's on. So I'm pretty sure this is going to fly. Let's give away a ticket to Unstoppable. For anybody that shares this out today, to pay it forward, to give an opportunity for people to hear this out. You share this out to your audience, your circle of influence, no matter how small or how big. We'll do a drawing, and we'll pick one of those people, and we'll pay for your ticket to Unstoppable. And if you'd like to gift that to someone else, if for some astronomically disappointing reason you can't make it yourself, we still want to make sure that goes to someone that can take advantage of that. So we'd like to do that, because what Jason's about to talk about, starting 2020 off the right way, why you created Unstoppable, why you took this challenge on. Bring us home with that before we wrap things up for today. But we want to give away a ticket to that, which is not inexpensive. But for those of you who are willing to demonstrate that you pay it forward by sharing this out, we'll draw from that and announce that by the end of the week. But Jason, please bring us home.
I love it. So we're going to do, I'd like to invite your audience tonight. We're going to be doing 2 hours tonight, strictly on getting ready for 2020 on the Bald Avenger page on Facebook, if anybody wants to join.
What time?
At 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Okay. So we're going to go 7 p.m. to 9 p.m.
So just go up to the search box in Facebook at 7 p.m. tonight, type in The Bald Avenger, or actually do it as soon as you're off of this and follow him, okay? He's giving great information, fun stuff. The Bald Avenger was his alter ego you created for comedy as well as instruction and using that platform to make an impact. So follow him and jump on. If there was any session you were going to follow, it would be tonight for sure.
We may or may not have some guest, people dropping in, maybe no hints or anything like that. but yeah, so the idea behind Unstoppable, the whole idea behind, looking at 2020, because the challenge is with most people, right? And I see this because we do consulting with people that are growing businesses, and there's nowhere that it's better. And anybody that's ever used a company, bought anything from anywhere, or dealt with a company, you fall in love with a brand. There's nowhere in the world that I've seen that is a better dichotomy of the human condition, because a business is nothing but a bunch of humans, right? And so I've dealt with over 20 plus years now. I've dealt with I've had hundreds of companies, hundreds of thousands of employees, and looking at that company when it becomes stagnant, right? It's not, I've heard you say it before many times, where if you become stagnant, there's no such thing as not moving. You're either moving up, right, or towards something, or you're moving down and away from something.
So what the Queen said to Alice in Wonderland.
Right.
You have to run as fast as you can to stay in the same place here.
That's right. And so that's the progress piece. But what I see, because again, we've worked with different companies, and you get the owners who are like, come in and fix it for me, right? Come in and fix it for me. And those are the people that I go, yeah, I'm not going to do that. Because what you're going to do is you're going to revert. If there's no buy-in, you're going to revert back to what's comfortable. And if you're not, the reason why you want to get coaching from you guys, or from on the business side from us, or the only reason you want to do that is because you want to get information that is going to correctly modify your behavior to deliver you to your desired outcome. That's it.
You mean 1 + 1 can equal 2?
That's the whole book, right? That's the whole book. It's right there. But most people, what they don't want to do is they want somebody to do it for them, or they want to do it, but they don't want to change their behavior. That's what happens all the time. And so when I come in and I'm talking to you guys, I mean, I was in your face a couple times. I'm like, guys, you got to change your behavior, right? You guys should be out there. You guys should be the most powerful brand in coaching out there. Like, why are we keep reverting to this? We've had some of those hard conversations. And then, this company that we were just talking about that I was just in Colorado with yesterday, they grew. And again, they started out 10 months ago. And what they did was diligently modify their behavior based on the correct coaching. Now, one of the issues that I know everybody out here is looking at is there's a plethora of Facebook gurus and coaches and all that kind of stuff that are out there that are giving completely the wrong information, right? And so how do you discern? And I would say that how you discern is by the experience that people have had with that coaching organization. And I can, like I say, I can vouch for these guys 24 hours of the day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year, because I've met them. I've seen the results. I have talked to the people that have gone through your coaching program, right? With my people, all you got to do is go to Facebook, and see Anton J, and you'll see people raving about the experiences that they have. A bunch of your coaches are making a ton more money now because they went through our 12-week program, right? So the results usually are very easy to find, but if you're in a place, and this is where you have to take personal responsibility out there in Facebook land, is that if you are looking for an easy pill, you will fall for nonsensical sales practices. You will fall for the easy pill. You will fall for the 5 weeks to change your life. You will fall for that nonsense because you don't have a scent. You're not anchored to the idea that it's your behaviors that are delivering you your current results, Therefore, the only thing that's going to change your results is your behaviors, right? Who you hang out with, all these simple things. But the first thing that has to happen, and we're going to talk a lot about this tonight, is that you have to modify. It's a must. Look, anything that you do, if you do not modify when you get up in the morning, when you go to bed at night, what you're eating, who you're hanging out with, the kind of work that you're doing, how much time you spend not in non-revenue producing activities, how much time you spend with your spouse or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your kids, or if you are not modifying your behavior, nothing's going to change. So don't spend any money. Don't spend any money. I mean, I have so many businesses that I walk into and I tell them, you could have stayed in bed for the last 5 years, having meals with your wife delivered to your bed for 5 years and done nothing, never left your bedroom, and made more money than you did. You'd be $2.5 million better off, because they're driving themselves into debt because they got a business idea and then they didn't modify their behavior. They didn't go through a coaching program where you figure out, why do I have the relationship to money that I do? All of those things stacked up. So I say a lot of this to say that when you hear these words and you're looking towards 2020, the bluntest way I can possibly say it is that your intensity and actions and excitement need to be tied to the idea that you are going to modify your behaviors and you are going to become a different human being. If you don't start out with that commitment, nothing that you do is going to get better. Nothing. It might by accident, right? But it also might get worse by accident. There's no such thing as stasis. So I would say that once you've come to that conclusion, now what's the motivator, right? What's the motivator to get me from where I'm at, where it might be a good life? There's a lot of people that are out there that they don't feel satisfied. I want to go back the way I say what you said earlier is, I want to be happy where I'm at, no matter where I'm at. If I'm living in a trailer, if I'm living in a beach, if I'm living on a park, I want to be happy where I am, but never satisfied. Because progress and stretching and becoming more and becoming a better version of who we are constantly is the thing. It's like if there was a pie chart, it's a third of what the joy and happiness equation is. Mm-hmm. Is that struggle against ourselves, that struggle to become more, to be somebody different, to do something different. And that's the next piece, is what's going to fire you up so much that you are going to modify your behavior, that you're going to be able to look at some of the relationships in your life and say, you know what, I love you, but goodbye, right? Or I love you and hello, I need to go get this person. I need to force myself into these people's lives because I want what they have.
Let me give you a quick 2-minute warning, just because I've got a group of powerhouse female entrepreneurs waiting for me at the top of the hour. Nice. So love you to death, but not going to pass up that opportunity. But I also know we could go all day. So we could go all day. And I want to make sure they know about why they should be at Unstoppable. Yeah. Now they know why they should be on the Bald Avenger tonight on your Facebook page to hear a whole lot more about this. 2 hours, pop in, be there for as much of it as you can. You're going to get awesome nuggets. You're getting fire right now. Share this out. For whoever shares this live out today, for paying that forward, we're gonna rally off a free ticket to Unstoppable. Share with them why that free ticket would matter? So that, again, it comes down to trust and brand. Your people trust you. My people trust you. You guys trust me. There's this circle of trust. We've all been to events together, and I have invested hundreds of thousands of dollars. More importantly, the time that it takes to go to some of these events. And all I've ever wanted to do was and this is why we started the hashtag the right hard work. I want to learn from people that I admire, who I want to be like, and who are doing the things or have gotten the results that I want. And so all I did was I said, I'm not whining anymore. I have complained incessantly for 3 years, incessantly. And now I'm done. So I said, well, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to handpick
the people that I know are based in integrity, that are doing the thing that people want to get out right now. They're doing it right now. They didn't read a book. They didn't have some fancy algorithm. In fact, one of the guys that's there launched Oprah's career, right? Launched her career. He turned around CBS. He rebranded the Emmys. 64 of the last 65 television stations he branded. He took a nothing brand that was out there in green beans, took it from 5 million to over 700 million, right? He's never spoken in public about what he does and how he does it. He's going to be there because he's my mentor. He's my friend, and he's going to step on stage and he's going to tell people not this nonsensical stuff that you hear, about marketing and stuff. This is a guy who's actually done it, right? We have Nicole Arbor, which she's a firebrand and she's a comedian and an actress. But why I love her is because she got in a car accident, lives with constant pain still to this day, and is a fighter and just does not give a rip about what people think about her, and she's doing her life, right? She's a powerhouse woman. We have more women speakers than we do men. You're going to be on stage, right? As we rotate, I'm going to have to rotate the Blanchard boys because, but we've got Sean Whalen, who's also going to be there, who ran for president. He just decided up and he was going to run for president. He's got a big old beard and he's got a great business, a great family man, a great story. Dr. V, right, who's got millions of fans around the world, top bariatric surgeon in the world. I could go on and on and on and on, but here's why you need to go. Here's the instructions that I gave those speakers is you will not pitch from stage. You will not. Number 2, you're going to come at it from 3 areas of expertise. What would you teach your younger self, right? That's number 1. Number 2, what are you doing right now to make money? And number 3, what do you see coming down the pike that you're adjusting your business and your adjustment? Look, you bring your teams, you bring your people. Like even talking about, I get goosebumps because of how good this is going to be. And then that night we're going to have the first Misfit Ball. Those are the people that follow me have called themselves Misfits, so we have it Misfit Nation. We're going to have a black tie event. I may have somebody really cool coming for that, but we're going to be able to hang out, celebrate what we learned, and just bond. Just to have a bunch of like-minded people under the same roof that are being mentored and protected against the outside nonsense. And our number 1 goal is to advance them so that they can make more money, have better energy, better relationships, so that they can do life at a better level, so that our group can become a powerful influencer in the world of doing good. So that's why you need to be there. It's going to be the best. There's some bigger events that are going to have fancier people and they're going to have bigger names that are going to happen next year. But what I will promise everybody is that there will never be an event in 2020 that will make more of a difference in your life, period, end of sentence.
So tell them where they can find out more.
UnstoppableGC.com.
Unstoppable G.
G is in growth. C is in conference. Yep.
UnstoppableGC.com to learn more. Share out this live. Thursday is my birthday, and so as celebrating my birthday, we're going to give back to you, and I'll jump on live that morning, and we'll draw a name as who we're going to give this away to for this ticket to be able to go. They're not inexpensive tickets, but they're reasonable for what's being provided, for who's being gathered. It's unbelievable. The VIP experiences that are available without making it like that you have to go mortgage your house to be a part of a VIP experience. It's just truth to how down to earth and how relevant and powerful the people are that are going to be at this. We
kept the prices low specifically so people could go. And I don't care if we make any money. I've decided to invest a couple $1 million into Misfit Nation next year. And as you know, if the thing breaks even, I'm happy. You know what I mean? That we all got together and everybody learned.
So thank you to my dad for being here today. This was a rare occurrence that we could make this work out. Some of this was impromptu, but it worked out exactly the way that it should. So glad that you're here. Again, share this out so that you can get a chance to be at Unstoppable. Even if you don't get it, please come. It's going to be an unbelievable event. We look forward to continuing to serve you through 2020. I've got to jump on a Zoom with some incredible female entrepreneurs right away, and he's just going to stay here. So
because you said female.
But again, love you, Jason. Love you, Dad. Thanks so much for being here, you guys. Thanks for spending your time with us today. Take care, and don't hesitate to reach out and let us know how we can help you have a more successful 2020. So take care, everybody. Bye-bye.